Hello Silver friends, this is Joli from QuickSilverHair, and today we're going to talk about hair loss and menopause and what you can do about it. October is World Menopause Month, and I couldn't let that month close out without discussing this topic. It is estimated that 20 to 60% of women before the age of 60 will experience hair loss just due to menopause. I feel like that's a significant amount of women that will experience this issue, and I've often wondered if some of the issues that I've had with excessive hair loss hasn't had something to do with my hormones and going through menopause. In this video and the corresponding blog post, I am sharing all of the information that I have found that is research-based information on menopause and hair loss and the causes and why they speculate it happens. Before I get started, I'm not a doctor. If you feel like this is something that's going on with you, please see your doctor and try to find someone that specializes in hormone care because they may be able to help you more than you can ever imagine. Anyway, let's get started. You might be wondering why I'm talking about hormones. I have researched hormones for the last 18 years, starting with treating my excruciating endometriosis and severe hormone imbalances, and then eventually I had a complete hysterectomy at the age of 40. So I needed to learn all of this information for my own care and for my own risk factors, and I really felt like it was very important to understand what was being given to me and why, because the minute I had a hysterectomy, they prescribed hormones to me and said stay on them until the age of 65, which now that number has even changed because there is so much confusing information out there. So hair loss is one of many symptoms of menopause that gets overlooked. It's very distressing. And while everyone will experience a significant amount of hair loss at some point in their life for a myriad of different reasons, menopause is a huge one. Hormones control more about your hair than you may have ever realized, including changes in your curl pattern, hair color, hair or no hair, hair loss, hair length, hair growth rate, hair texture, and frizz on your temples. At multiple points in your life, your hair will change due to hormonal changes. From puberty to pregnancy, perimenopause, menopause, hormone treatment cessation, stopping HRT or the birth control pill, hypothyroidism, not a sex hormone, but it does affect your hair, and hormone-related balding or hair loss known as androgenic alopecia. Perimenopause can begin as early as your 30s. It began in my early 30s, and it was diagnosed as premature perimenopause, but it can last anywhere from 10 to 20 years. So it's a long time with these changes happening where it's going up and down. I recently learned this little tidbit that I thought was very fascinating, and that is that menopause is technically only one day. It is the day that is 365 days away from your last period. Everything after that day is considered post-menopause, which I had no idea about that, but I think that's kind of an interesting little fact, and it gives you a perspective on that perimenopause is this, long journey. Menopause is that day where it shifts and stops, and then after that is post-menopause. When the female organs slow and stop producing hormones, it can cause a barrage of symptoms. As a matter of fact, there are over 70 documented symptoms of menopause. That's a lot of symptoms besides night sweats and hot flashes. Menopause is a hormonal deficiency the same as hypothyroidism. It is low estrogen, low progesterone, and or low testosterone. It is literally withdrawal symptoms. It is your body having all of this nourishing cascade of chemicals yanked away, and it doesn't know what to do. So it creates all of these symptoms and eventually side effects that can affect your health. The symptoms of menopause can make you feel like you're going crazy. It can make you feel like you're falling apart. And you can end up in all kinds of different doctor's offices with different specialties trying to chase one symptom or another, trying to figure out what's going on. And you may not get what you need because you may not be in the right office. For instance, with hair, skin, and nails, we might be at a dermatologist's office and they may not be treating for any kind of menopausal conditions. There are 70 symptoms associated with menopause. Of those 70 plus symptoms, 17 symptoms are associated with hair, skin, and nails. Because hormones have an antioxidant property, any chronic illness can be affected, including psoriasis, eczema, and dermatitis. You can have dark circles under the eyes, increased hair loss or thinning anywhere on the body, unusual body hair growth changes in different areas of the body, acne, dry ears, ringing, and tinnitus, decreases in sebum, changes in sweat production, puffy eyes, facial flushing, worsening rosacea, dry hair, skin creping, changes in fingernails, itchy crawly skin with pins and needles-like sensation, dry itchy eyes, and an increase and worsening of allergies, including skin. The relationship of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. When the ovaries stop making estrogen and progesterone, testosterone levels can seem higher. They aren't higher. It's just that your body actually creates a significant amount of testosterone, and without estrogen and progesterone to balance out that testosterone and keep it in check, you can start to experience thinning and hair loss. An interesting thing about estrogen and progesterone is they help keep your hair in a hair growth cycle. And when they start to decrease, it can slow down your growth rate, so your hair can start to grow slower. And it also creates a smaller follicle, which means that your hair gets finer. And I know many of us have experienced that once we embraced our silver hair, it was finer than we anticipated. And I do see that a lot of women start to embrace their silver hair as they're going through menopause. So I think there's a correlation between those two things there. The next aspect of hair loss and menopause is sebum production. Sebum production is mitigated by our male hormones. Consequently, men produce more sebum because they have more testosterone and male hormones. Because women have an already limited supply of testosterone compared to men, we will experience a significant loss of sebum production. As a matter of fact, by the age of 40 and perimenopause, our sebum production has already decreased. By the age of 60, it will decrease even more significantly. Sebum provides lipids and nourishment to the hair and skin. As it decreases, we lose that nourishment to the hair, which can cause the hair to become drier and more brittle, and then cause shedding from breakage because the hair is not as strong as it used to be. The next aspect of hair loss with menopause is oxidative stress. Antioxidant production in the human body gradually decreases with age, thereby increasing free radicals, which damage the cells. Evidence points to oxidative stress as a major role in the aging process, including pigment loss that leads to graying and also hair loss. Hormones influence this oxidation process. Higher levels of estrogen have an antioxidant and beneficial effect throughout the body. Lower estrogen levels have a pro-oxidant and detrimental effect throughout the body. I have a list here of things that I have noticed with specific issues with hormones and the types of hair loss that you will see based on the hormone that is missing. If you have thinning and frizzy hair around your temples and above your ears, it could be estrogen levels. If you notice your part is getting whiter and thinning is around the crown of your head, this could be androgenic alopecia, which is the hormonally driven type of hair loss from too much testosterone and androgens. If you notice increased shedding that doesn't seem to stop, this could indicate higher than normal testosterone levels. If you notice your eyebrows are thinning around the outside edges of the eyebrow, this could be hypothyroidism. What do we do about these symptoms? Women are living longer than ever before, and we don't have to suffer through these symptoms. Even if they are natural, you don't have to just suck it up and live with it. There are some things you can do nutritionally with HRT also, if that's right for you, and lifestyle choices. Nutritional support for hair loss can include antioxidants like vitamin A, C, and E, 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day, including flaxseed, essential fatty acids, i.e. omega oils or fish oil, a minimum of 1,000 IU of vitamin D per day, vitamin B12, collagen, iron, zinc, copper, and selenium. Lifestyle changes with menopause and hair loss will include stress reduction. So exercise, good quality sleep, and self-care will top the list. Doing a scalp massage every night with rosemary oil, if you are experiencing hair loss, will help with hair loss. It is proven to be just as effective as minoxidil for androgenic alopecia, and that is why I created my own scalp oil, because I wanted to create an oil for those of us with silver hair that was 100% clear but had the correct ratio of rosemary oil in it to help with this issue, because it is one that affects so many of us. Medicinal support for menopause will include HRT. If you want to explore this option, I encourage you to find a doctor who specializes in hormone treatment. These doctors have gone the extra mile and learned how to treat menopause, because most doctors are not taught about menopause in medical school for treatment. They are just taught that it happens, that it's a natural part of life, and it's the last day of your period. So you want to find someone that has gone that extra mile and is learning more, because the information is coming. The science studies are coming out daily on the benefits of replacing these hormones and not living half our lives without them. You do have several options. So pharmaceutical options include estrogen patches, creams, gels, pills, progesterone pills. Topical progesterone is not well absorbed by the skin due to its larger molecular size, so I would avoid progesterone creams. Bioidentical choices include compounded estrogen creams and pills, progesterone pills, and testosterone troches, creams, gels, and sublingual drops. Estrogen and testosterone pellet therapy can also be an option for many, but buyer beware, your body may absorb them faster, like mine did, or slower than it should, and they can be very expensive. I wanted to share this quote that came from an endocrinologist that I saw during 2020 in a telehealth appointment. I wrote this down as soon as I got off the phone because it struck home. It was the thing that finally got me out of my fear of using HRT. So I'm going to read this to you now, what I wrote down. If any other organ fails in the body, we put you on life support or life-supporting medications. If you lose the function of your thyroid, you will immediately be medicated with thyroid hormone replacement, because without this hormone, you will eventually die from the complications. Thus far in medicine, when it is the ovaries failing, we have not treated them like the essential organs that they are. We have acted like they were for making babies, and when that job was done, c'est la vie. Sex hormones produced by the ovaries provide far more than just reproductive support. They help with sleep, weight control, breast health, heart health, brain health, joint and bone health, and so much more. There is solid evidence now that the hormone replacement can help you for the rest of your life. In fact, studies indicate that it can significantly reduce cardiovascular disease, the #1 cause of death for women, and reduces all-cause mortality rates. That means all other causes of death are mitigated with HRT. My choice. So it does come down to choice. My choice, because I had a total hysterectomy at 40 years old, I decided to use HRT to help me get through the symptoms. I did have a doctor early on tell me just use enough estrogen to keep yourself from having hot flashes and night sweats. But as I have learned how many symptoms are associated and how many symptoms I have presented with over the last years since my hysterectomy, I have adjusted. I have changed my prescriptions. I have checked in with my provider to make sure that I'm getting the right doses of the right things to mitigate the symptoms that I'm experiencing. You will have to do that with your doctor, with your own choices and with your own needs. But for me, I chose bioidentical hormones because I can cater them to my needs and I can cater them to my allergies. So it really is a personal choice how you go about this, but I hope that you have found all of this information helpful. I feel like this was a topic that we need to be discussing. As women, we need to talk to each other, and we need to make sure that if we have information that we're sharing it. I appreciate you making it to this point in the video. If you have any questions or you want to look at any of the sources on the information that I've presented, it's all in the description box below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button on this video if you liked it and found it helpful. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so now, because I would love to see you next time. Shine on.